like the difference between like an MCU marathon and then an X-Men marathon is that the MCU movies are like immediately following each other, whereas like the First Class marathon would be like, okay, this is the 60s.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we're in the 70s. Now we're in the 80s. So
now I'm gonna go into that on our X-Men part too.
Okay, good.
The timelines.
Yeah, I'd love to go into that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, hello. How's it going? Welcome back to Crate Talk. This is Adam.
Hey, what's up? It's Aleu.
And this is our daily show. And we're going to talk some articles today. Today we're going to talk about Lupita being in Black Panther. We're going to talk about Alexandra Shipp. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Shipp, right? Shipp. And her thoughts about Storm and Black Panther. And we're going to talk about the Black Panther cast. So this is the Black Panther Day. Woo! Black Panther Day. Right, let me see. So, how about we, I don't know, you kick us off on the Lupita thing. We'll talk about that a little bit.
For sure. Okay, so this is very exciting. Lupita, she's Disney's star child right now. You know, we just had her in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. We just had her in Jungle Book, doing voices. You know, she hasn't been doing her any kind of face thing, but she does actually have another movie coming out through Disney. I do not recall the name. It's about
Black Panther.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, Lupita is Disney's star child right now, so of course they would be remiss to not cast her in the Black Panther movie.
Yeah. You gotta kind of put like, what? Yeah, it's like who is really hot right now? Like who is really hot
and
really
black?
And black. Who's really hot and black and doing their thing and young
Michael
enough.
B. Jordan, of course.
You know, and I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's a meme out there where it's like Marvel, like, well, first we saved the Sherlocks, and then we saved the Human Torches. Because don't forget, Chris Evans was Human Torch too.
Yes, definitely.
So.
And of course, like I saw the Michael B. Jordan thing coming because I was like, okay, you know, hot black in Hollywood. You know, Lupita, Michael B. Jordan. Trying to think who else. Right now. Oh yeah, we got.
Well, there's Chiwetel.
Who are young.
Chiwetel's, yeah, was young.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, well, fuck is his name? Nate? Is that his name? Nate Parker?
Oh, okay.
Is that right? Like, say his name right?
Nate Parker.
What is his movie? He has a movie out. Birth of a Nation.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he was in, he's been in a bunch of things lately. He was in, I want to say he was in Red Tails. He was a star of that. That failed horrible movie. But yeah.
I think they're just gonna get every single black actor that's like popular right now, just put them all in the movie. Just get every single black actor, just have it be a bonanza of black talent.
Yeah.
And we have 2 years, I believe, for that movie. So
yeah, 2 years.
In that time, we may, you know, have more upcoming black actors. Maybe they'll cast me in it. I don't know.
Maybe. Possibly. Well, I think the good thing to take away from that is that Lupita's a good actress, you know, and Jordan's a good actor, and so they could just be doing it old school style and just throw people in there. It's like, hey, remember the celebrity's face? Bam, throw them in there. But at least they're picking people who can bring something, you know, who will bring fans and will bring talent. So I dig that. Yeah. Which I'm just gonna segue straight to another one, which is the cast.
Okay.
So it's like Ryan Coogler
Yes.
announced that basically it's going to be a 90% African American black actor cast.
Yeah. That's exciting.
It is exciting. It is exciting. Yeah, I don't know. It's an announcement. There you go. I announced it to you, so now you know. I think that's dope. I think they're saying that Martin Freeman's going to be in it.
Okay.
Playing his official role like he played in Civil War.
Okay.
That kind of like government, creepy kind of guy with an agenda. He has an agenda. I don't know what it is, but it's something wrong. And what's his name? Andy Serkis is going to be in it again as Claw with his hand chopped off. Ultron cut his hand off. And then, you know, if Martin Freeman's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Last time we saw Martin Freeman, he had Dr. Zemo in Civil War. So he had him in his care. Yeah. So it could be that that villain might pop up as well, and have him and Claw. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're talking about having Michael B. Jordan be a villain as well. So it's gonna be another Marvel movie where we're having multiple villains kind of pop up and do their thing.
As long as they're different kinds of villains, you know, it's like that's cool. But if they're all like twisted psychopaths, then it's like, oh my god, how many? Come on, switch it up a little bit.
I don't know if I can see Michael B. Jordan as a villain. I mean, he's a good actor, so I'm sure he could do it. But I don't know if I could see him as a villain. He just kind of has that like hero boy kind of persona for me.
Well, you know, it's like, all right, so Michael B. Jordan, right? So we've kind of turned to segue into Michael B. Jordan conversation, which is fine. Michael B. Jordan, and I like Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. You know, I met him once. He's a nice guy. I like Michael B. Jordan. He's a good dude, but he's kind of the opposite to me as Chadwick is. Okay. Like, as Chadwick, everything I've seen Chadwick in, he's a different person. You know, he's James Brown, he's Jackie, he's T'Challa, he's different. You know, all his films, he's someone different. You know, whereas Michael B. Jordan is kind of the same dude. Like, even when he was Human Torch, he was still kind of Apollo's son. You know what I mean? He's not Wallace from The Wire anymore. He's matured beyond that. But he's more of a, what's a good way to put it? He's more of a face than he is a character.
Like a type.
Yeah.
He's a type.
Yeah. You know.
I see
so that's kind of where I'm curious he would be. But I think that can lend itself either way. And villains are more fun to play. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and they're still in talks. He might not even be the villain. It's just, you know, it's all rumors at this point.
Yeah, nothing's real until you see it. Nothing's real until the camera rolls and it's there. And as we know, Black Panther is quite a ways away.
I know.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, yeah, I don't know. And about the cast, like, I think it makes sense. I think that even if they're going to be shooting in Atlanta, most of it, and I know that Coogler wants to shoot in Africa, which is, you know, why not? It takes place probably mostly all in Africa. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think that in this day and age, that the screen should represent where the story is taking place.
I agree.
You know, and if we're saying our story takes place in, you know, Wakanda, or like, you know, a Zamunda kind of situation, or whatever it is, then we should see what the makeup of that nation is. You know, we should see what the town looks like. So,
I would be upset if they didn't have at least 90% African or African American cast, because I'd be like, hey, the Black Panther movie, and it's starring Black Panther and all these other heroes and Avengers and villains.
Well, of course, because, you know, T'Challa has to leave. Yeah. And he has to go to London. And then he has to go to Sweden. And, you know, of course, he's in America. So he's all over the place because he's trying to solve crime. So he goes where there are no black people. Yeah. That's the staunch. Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see if they go that route, but it seems like they're gonna, with the 90% black or African cast, it seems like they're going to at least have it take place maybe 40% in Wakanda, I'd say, maybe.
Well, hopefully. But let me throw this at you, right? So, what do you think about the fact that they even made that announcement instead of just letting it be?
Letting it be.
You know, it's like,
that's a good point.
They could have just shot the movie
and showed it.
But instead, they're making the point to say, "Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, we're diversity." Okay. You know, I don't know what do you think about that.
That's interesting. I never even thought about it that way, but that's a good point, because today we've been having all these issues with whitewashing characters and not enough diversity in film and Hollywood, and I think maybe that's their rebuttal to that, saying, hey, look, you know, you may be getting a few, you know, whitewashed movies, but when it comes to our African superhero, we're gonna do it right. So I think they want to appease us and just be kind of like, okay, you know, if you were worried, we're gonna do Black Panther right, and you know, so I think maybe it was to kind of combat that fear,
right?
That, you know, they kind of whitewashed Black Panther. Because I mean, if you read the comments on any kind of like Black Panther thread, it's like, oh, well, what if it was the White Panther? Like, you know, you can make Human Torch black, you know, like you make.
And listen, I'm glad that happened. And it's funny because I feel like that announcement came on the. All right, you know how we're gonna talk like legit politics now for a second. Like something tragic happens in the world, or like there's a scandal, then immediately afterwards. We get like, oh, this amazing thing happened over here, so you forget all about this horrible scandal. It's like, I feel like that announcement came right on the heels of, why is the Ancient One a white person?
I felt that too.
You know, because like that was a huge thing. Everybody was talking about that,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people stopped talking about that. And
That's true. They're like, ooh.
You know, but wait, we got Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
And we got Lupita.
Yeah.
And we got that. And we got boom. And bam, that's what it is. So I don't know. I mean, it's something that like I love it.
Yeah.
That
I like that they said something.
Yeah, I love it. You know, but I'm kind of skeptical and kind of curious about the motivation behind the veil.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, I do like that they said something, because up until that point, I was not that I had any kind of expectations of what they were going to be casting, but that was just it. We had no expectations of what was going to happen. We're just like, we're getting a Black Panther movie. Okay. Okay. So we didn't really have any sort of expectation to look forward to. But now, you know, it does seem like they are kind of trying to do it right, and to keep the diversity alive that, you know, is shown in the comics.
I'm just curious about how they'll because it is 2 years away, and so we're at least a year and a half before we start seeing trailers. You know, so I'm just curious what method they're going to use to keep this fresh in our heads. You know, because we're getting casting announcements again like 2 years.
2 years before in advance,
you know?
yeah.
Which is it's all hilarious to me. Because I remember, you know, an age.
Yeah.
And you just go to a movie and not know who's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Like.
now it's all about the names. It's all about.
Yeah.
All that.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Last but not least, opening tonight. Today is Friday, the 27th, by the way, just in case I don't put this online until next week. But today, in our reality right now, X-Men opens.
Yes.
X-Men Apocalypse. One of the stars of X-Men Apocalypse is Alexandra Shipp. Right?
Shipp.
Shipp. 2 P's. Shipp. She's playing Storm, the young version of Storm. Apocalypse takes place in the 80s somewhere, right?
Yeah.
She's the young Halle Berry, and she was on, did an interview for The Lowdown with Diana Madison. That was then kind of transcribed through various sites, comicbook.com and other places like that, about her wants for a Storm Black Panther crossover at some point. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's what everybody wants, to be honest. Like, I think every comic fan is kind of like, okay, we know that there's a Storm T'Challa relationship, an eventual marriage, so we want to see that on screen. Unfortunately, there's a little thing called studio rivalry, and Fox owns the rights to all the X-Men, and Marvel/Disney owns the rights to
everybody else.
So I personally, as much as I would love to see that, if I'm being realistic, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I liked, like, before, when I just heard about this, before I read it, I was kind of upset with her, because it's kind of a ludicrous thing. But then it's like, as I read what she was saying, I was like, okay, no, I see. Because her approach was more of like a fangirl. Like, she even said, like, it doesn't have to be me.
Yeah.
Like, it could be, I don't care who it is. I just want to see. I just want to see those two characters together. I just want to see Chadwick with somebody who is Storm, and like I can appreciate that. And it's like that kind of made me think, you know, Fox owns mutants. That's what anything mutant and adamantium and all that stuff what Fox owns, because of their contract and blah 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 whatever. And but involved in that is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
And
who had to be alternated for the Disney version.
Yeah, but it's like that still kind of messes me up a little bit. I still don't really quite understand the legalities with that.
Yeah.
Because it was the same characters. They had, you know, they were still Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and they were still.
They just couldn't say. They didn't say those names, and they couldn't say mutant.
Right.
So they had to call them by the first names.
Right. They were still. So it's like I feel like what could happen is if we get a situation where somebody is engineered, you know, because like they were engineered because of Loki's staff. So if some magical, mystical way something happens, you know, particle accelerator explodes or whatever it is, and somebody becomes Storm, you know, and then we have a Storm in the MCU that is not a mutant.
Oh, okay.
You know, and we don't call her Storm,
okay.
but you know, she's fucking Storm.
Yeah.
You know, she's.
I can see that to an extent. My only worry is that since Storm is such an iconic character, I feel like Fox isn't gonna let up 1 inch on her. But I see what you're saying. You could definitely have a character be like Aurora, Aurora Monroe, and then have her kind of, you know, something happens. I don't know, maybe the Tesseract. I don't know, something creates these powers within her, and then they just never say Storm or mutant. Yeah, I could see that happening, but at the same time, I just feel like she's such a big character that I feel like Fox isn't gonna.
No, I agree with that completely. I'm just like that's the only way it's going
to happen. Yeah,
that's that, or unless like see, the problem is like Fox has a stranglehold on the X-Men characters, and honestly, it's like even if Apocalypse tanks, like if it goes by the way of BVS, or maybe it has a huge first weekend after that, it doesn't matter because I feel like the contract with them is they have to make a mutant movie. So if when they make Deadpool 2, that will satisfy the requirement. Yes. You know, and they're still making Old Man Logan, which will also satisfy the requirement. So they got all these other options. Okay. They can, you know, the team movies can suck all day. It won't matter because they'll still make something that will, you know, solidify that. So I don't know. Can't they all just get along? Can't just play nice?
Come on, Fox and Disney, you need to. Ooh, I would love to see a Disney version of X-Men. It would be less gritty, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, I think they'd have more things to work with if Disney acquired the rights to that.
All you gotta do is have Thanos, right? Because first of all, like you really can't you don't want to reboot again. You know what I mean? So all you gotta do is have Thanos fucking rip a hole in space time. You know what I mean? And just do. As much as I hate multiverses, that's all you gotta do is like, you know, the X-Men universe is like Earth 2 and the MCU is Earth 1, and just have rip in space and time and those Earths merge, and now all of a sudden you can have, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man at the same time as you have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, you know, on screen together. Yeah. But like that's the only way.
Cause I need to see my X-Men versus Avengers. I need it. I just need it.
So I'm curious. So like, ignoring the comics, we'll just forget the comics for a second, and we'll just live in cinema. Okay. Right. So with the characters and the powers that we've seen on screen from the MCU, and the characters and powers we've seen on screen from the X-Men, like who do you think will win?
Ooh, MCU. Okay. Well, Jean can obliterate the Earth, essentially. So, I mean, if we want.
Well, then are we talking about that Jean, Are we talking about Phoenix? You know, what kind of, because at the same time, it's like, what you got to think about there is if they're battling on like a battleground where their teams are all there.
Okay, and they're all, okay, I see what you're saying.
So it's like, I could destroy this place, but then I'm going to kill
my team
kill my boo. You know, I'm going to kill Cyclops, and that's going to make me sad, you know, so.
I'd say, if we're going universe by universe, I would say Avengers, just because their powers have been more fleshed out. They have a god on their team. They have Wanda, who's insanely powerful. She's kind of coming into her powers still. Vision is insanely powerful.
Yeah. I think like Thor, Hulk, Wanda, and Vision.
That's
all you got.
Just them.
Just send them in.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think from the X-Men who has astonishing powers that could just overpower. And Jean is extremely powerful even when she's not Phoenix.
Yeah, Magneto.
Okay, or we could have a multiverse where Wanda and Quicksilver are fighting each other.
Oh my god, that would be insane.
That would be so insane. I could see them doing something.
I can too. So you know what I think, real quick? It's like a lot of people didn't believe me. Not that I'm like, a soothsayer. I'm not Miss Cleo or nothing like that. But it's like, I knew Sony was going to give up Spider-Man. I knew Sony was going to bend on that because it's just like, come on.
I didn't see that coming.
They had to do it. If you think about it, right? First of all, Sony, all they got is Spider-Man. Granted, they have his rogue gallery. Who cares? No one cares. And a variety of different kind of Spider Women who the mainstream doesn't know. You know, even though I think Silk is amazing, the mainstream doesn't know who Silk is. So all they got is Spider-Man. You know, and it costs money. It costs money to make those movies, to promote those movies, hundreds of millions of dollars that you may or may not get back. Meanwhile, there's this behemoth called the MCU that has been cranking out movies for 8 years that they are their own kind of publication. You know, it's like all you got to do is just like jump on that train and you're good to go. So it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
That Sony would say, okay, here you go, take the burden. We're gonna distribute it though, and we'll get money from it. We'll reap the benefit of it being in your wheelhouse. And so that made sense to me. And honestly, Fox jumping in on that, it makes sense to me. Because then you have, the rewards will get divvied up 3 different places.
Okay.
And a lot of paperwork, who's in charge of this and who's in charge of that, da.
Yeah.
But the responsibility is also divvied up 3 places.
Okay.
And it's like, all Sony's putting in is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's a heavy hitter. It's not like he's putting in like Namor that no one cares about. No, he's putting in Spider-Man. Yeah. And the MCU puts in theirs and Fox puts in theirs. And they just figure it out. You can figure it out, guys.
Yeah.
Movies have been around over 100 years. Accountants have been around for a long ass time. Figure it out. Lawyers, forever. Just figure that shit out, man, and give us what we want. Before, as Scott was saying, before the bubble bursts and people get tired of this and want to see westerns all the time, before that happens, figure it out. Yeah. And give us what we want.
Give some leeway. Come on. You can't say no to Disney for long. They're gonna get you eventually. So.
Eventually, I mean, all they really got, like my personal opinion, is once Hugh Jackman leaves, it's like they're riding on Ryan Reynolds' shoulder, and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool would only hold Fox together so long.
Well, I mean, they got Jennifer Lawrence for the time being.
For the time being, she's gonna walk. She's gonna walk eventually because I don't care what she's saying right now. She's gonna get tired of it. Yeah. And she's gonna walk away. Hugh's walking away, and it's like that's the problem over there. It's like the MCU is like, okay, if Tony leaves and if Steve leaves and if Thor leaves, whatever, okay, that's fine. Because there's a lot of other characters that we've been meeting. So we're getting to know Ant-Man. We're getting to know Star-Lord. We're getting to know these other characters. Yeah. So the old guys can go. Yeah. And we still have a nice strong cast there. But the X-Men, it's like they haven't been doing that at Fox. So once these headliners leave, It's like, well, who's left?
Yeah.
I can't tell you the name of anybody in these movies except for Alexandra Shipp because we just talked about her.
We'll have a Rogue solo film. That's what's left.
I would love that. Do it right though. Do it right. All right. Aleu, Adam, we're out.